Welcome back to the show. Don Hershman has perfected his craft as an accomplished surgeon and fine art painter.
I always had an aptitude for painting and for drawing. You know, that's something that was inherent, and I never went to art school. When I was studying for my boards, and also when I was just studying for some of these challenging courses that you take in your first and second year of medical school, I drew things, especially anatomical structures, because most of the exams dealt with spatial relationships. So rather than do rote memory, I would draw everything on index cards. Every 10 years, you have to take another exam to maintain your boards as a surgeon, if you're a board-certified surgeon. So I'd whip out those cards and every 10 years and begin studying. A well-known artist took notice of the cards and gave me my first glimpse of inspiration as an artist, and that was back in the early 90s. In 1992, I had my first show. It was very exciting, and both my paintings sold. So from the world that I come from in Brooklyn, New York, you sell a couple of paintings, you sold 100% of the work. It was time to start taking it seriously, and which is when I did. Did a quick pencil sketch. This is going to be for the code switching series. I always said there's a part of my brain that turns on at a certain point in the painting and in the surgery. I mean, the blank canvas is daunting when you're beginning a surgery. It's the beginning of an adventure. It's a creative energy that not many people have the experience of talking about, because surgeons are surgeons and artists are artists. Not many do both. Something about the gratification of healthcare, if you're good at it, that distinguishes it. There's nothing like it, because you're actually helping humanity. It keeps you in touch with all facets of humanity. It doesn't matter whether the patient is a privileged patient from a privileged background and highly educated, or someone that's poor, discriminated against, or marginalized. When they're in that chair, they're just a patient. Everybody's equal. Everything flattens right out. Gives you a bird's eye view of the world in that way. Healthcare, that's the privilege of it, and it makes you more human. And as an artist, it makes me a better artist. I enjoy both. I really do. People have to adjust their language to fit in. I can only speak from my experience as a gay man going through medical school, or having to code switch. Back in the day that I grew up, being gay was completely unacceptable, and you couldn't get through your surgical training if you were out. I mean, it was like nothing you could even consider. I didn't feel quite victimized by it, because it's just the way of things were. Anyone that grows up gay is code switching as a child to fit in. People have preconceived notions about who people are. I like to have a story behind the work. There's the art crowd that wants to know technique and strokes and brushes, which is great. But then the younger people tend to engage you much more about the subject matter. And I like to have a message. I want the artwork to enlighten.